Hey, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends. Hello, hello. Welcome. We're going to get the show started in just a second. Glad that you're here. Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. You're behind the scenes of the Rise Up Morning Show. We're going live in just a moment. We are live, but we're kicking the show off in just a moment. Welcome, Juan. Welcome, everybody. We're getting the show going in just a couple of minutes. Up first, the recently released demo of Dookie by Green Day commemorates the album's 30th anniversary. Can you believe that Dookie is 30 years old, that Green Day are just a bunch of dads doing rock and roll now? I don't know, man. It makes me feel old. And this song takes me right back. It almost sounds like a Beatles song. But believe it or not, this is Green Day doing Basket Case. We'll get the show started right after this. Enjoy. And notice the different lyrics. Welcome in, everybody. Sometimes the future doesn't have much luck. This wigged out thing called love, they make it kind of rough, and they don't really mind, they're on their own. Around each other, intoxicating their minds, dancing in the street under suburban lights. They stumble to the concrete without a hug, and they could care less what's coming up. Sometimes the future doesn't have much luck. Down think all love, it make it kind of rough, and they don't really mind, they're on their own. Good now, revolutionaries. This is the Rise Up Morning Somewhere show, because whether you listen morning, noon, or night, it's time to wake up and smell the crypto with the Faceless Many. All the everyday people who will learn to leverage future technology like blockchain, AI, mixed reality to rise up and write a better future. My name is Evan. He is Alex, and we are your good friends. We don't know everything. We don't know much. But what we do know, we're happy to share. And we think learning about this stuff in the context of a community is always, always, always better than just hoping and praying and trusting what somebody on the internet says. Alex, I don't know if you heard me say it, but I was opening the show with a little musical selection that commemorates the 30th anniversary of Green Day's Dookie album release. It came out 30 years ago, and they dropped these 4-track demos that they did, and I was like, wow. Almost sounds like a Beatles song. You know what I'm talking about? It's crazy, man. How are you?
Good. 30, that's wild. I would not have guessed that.
Right. I was like, wow, I am really that old. Wow.
Well, this is a hotel room version, bothering my father and sister by doing this. So we have a live studio audience today. So we'll get colorful commentary from my sister in the background.
Talking heads. Hey, man, I'm here
Yep.
for it. I'm definitely here for it. How is Chicago?
So far, so good. It's a lot warmer than I was prepared for. I was ready for it to be freezing. It's definitely
Yeah.
not warm, but it's not that bad.
Phew. Wow. Somebody said Green Day is too political. Just play music. Tell you about music.
Yeah,
Green
I
Day's
have a.
political.
That's why I just laughed because I was like, oh boy, wait till you hear about other bands. It's true, Evan. Though we could play some bands that are not political, like Rage Against the
Everybody,
Machine
Jeff,
or System
welcome.
of a Down or
Yeah.
you know something like that.
Yeah, or
Something nice and
anybody who came
innocent.
out in the last 40 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and innocent. Mm. Nice and innocent. Well, there's. I know you got a hard stop today, and I think there's one or two interesting things worth talking about in the news.
Definitely.
But I'm glad to defer to you, my friend, and ask you where do you want to go first on this journey? Well, actually, wait, hang on. Let me stop you real quick before you even think about your answer. And let me say to people who might be tuning in for the first time, if you're new here and you want to be part of this conversation all the time, not just when we're doing the show, you can follow me and Alex, but you can also head to the links in our profile where you will find the free, always free Discord community for the Faceless Many. We talk about this stuff all the time there. It's discord.gg/the many. No one's going to try and sell you anything there. No one's going to make claims that they're not going to help you verify. We're not going to ask you for anything. We are just interested in furthering the conversation about this industry to tell a better story and help people kind of get on board and find their spot in it. So you're welcome to join us there. We would love to have you. And of course, tune into the show too. But Alex, what's in the news today that's got your
Well, there's
fancy?
obviously the stuff that's popped up today, but I think we should probably start with the Cointelegraph debacle,
Yeah.
which has now just turned into a giant meme.
Yeah, I saw a really great meme of it's the guy at the gravestone, taking the selfie with like Cointelegraph intern after Bitcoin tanks. Rip.
I think my favorite one was the one of the guy slapping the flex tape onto the giant leaking water barrel. The water barrel is just labeled market manipulation, and then it's the Cointelegraph intern slapping the tape on it that just says reportedly. So for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, what was it, like 2 days ago maybe?
Might be 2, 3.
Something
recently.
Like that. Very recently. Cointelegraph posted a tweet that just simply said that iShare and BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF had been approved by the SEC. They didn't link to an article, so immediately, because I saw the first tweet go up, and I was like, oh damn, this does not look like the way that they would announce that this had happened, because it was like a very weird time. Like the SEC was obviously not up and deliberating at 5 a.m. So it was a very strange time for the news to break. And they didn't link anything. And so obviously everyone was calling bullshit. And very quickly after that, they didn't delete it. They edited the tweet to say reportedly at the end of it because it was bullshit. It was a fake story. It didn't happen. And so obviously no spot Bitcoin ETF had been approved. The application that they were talking about is still pending. It's still sitting there. They're still kicking the can down the road for as long as humanly possible. But obviously the price of Bitcoin spiked pretty significantly when that happened, and then it dropped precipitously after it was confirmed that it was bullshit. So they're obviously being accused of manipulating the market a little bit there, and they have not really offered much in the way of clarification or an explanation as to how a story of that magnitude just got posted on their official account without anyone checking. And I think the only thing that they offered was something to the effect.
Oh, did we lose him?
For the stories that get posted on their
there you
account or something. Oh, crap. There we go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
No,
so
we got
they
you.
have not explained it very well at all.
Yeah, actually, so there was a viral video going around of some of the execs at a panel. It sounds like they were informed this had happened by a member of the public while they were giving a presentation. Somebody asked them, have you seen that this has happened? What do you have to say about this? How can we trust you, etc. And I thought that their remarks were pretty damning. The lady who spoke, she tried to kind of what about it and say, well, this is the problem with people relying on news to get their information, because news is fallible and the people who work for us are just as likely to make a mistake as anybody else. But you can still trust us because we do our due diligence. Everybody messes up sometimes. It was a really unhelpful statement. And then they did do a better kind of digging themselves out of their grave follow-up. They released an official statement. We apologize for a tweet that led to the dissemination of inaccurate information regarding the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. That's it. It's still under review by the SEC. That's it. There's no, no like, this is what we're doing. I am sure they probably fired that intern. And funnily enough, there is a Twitter account created October 2023, Cointelegraph Intern, that is pumping an intern token.
Yeah, that checks out.
No surprise, right?
That checks out.
Yeah. So don't trust, verify, even when it's Cointelegraph is the moral of that story. And good, cool on that intern. Good for you, bro.
I do wish I knew exactly how that happened, because that's like a really big one. I get that, if you are a news outlet and you want to, not like, I don't know, lose your market share of a story by just like waiting too long to say something or whatever, but like you gotta start it off by, not confirmed, one source says we are investigating or something like that. Like at least throw a disclaimer on there.
No, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. A couple months ago, somebody from Vanderbilt or Dartmouth or something like that thought it would be really interesting to further their crypto career if they followed this internship at Cointelegraph. Because they were younger than everyone around them and they didn't have any jobs that this person couldn't like fuck up. They said, "Why don't you run social media? You understand internet and the technology, right?" And he was like, "Bro, I got you. Memes." And of course, was a smashing success because he spoke internet culture. They gave him the keys. There was no approval process. He smooth talked his way into it. And when he saw the opportunity, he took it. I'm sure it was a dude. I'm sure he's a bro. And I'm sure that's how it happened. I am sure that whoever's Excel spreadsheet he is fixing 5 times a week and teaching how to copy paste is the person who said, "Please just take care of this." And there's probably no oversight. They're like, it's just Twitter. Nobody takes social media seriously, even though most crises today are social media crises. It's the alarm has been going off. It's time to wake up, people. You got to put something in place. Ugh.
Well, on the subject of Bitcoin's price, now, of course, we're getting to that season where we're fast approaching the next halving. And so there's a tremendous amount of guessing and speculating happening about exactly what's going to happen with the price, because we have a few previous halvings to look at that people can try to pull a little bit of data from.
Sure.
Not very many, certainly not enough to make a compelling case, especially since all of the external factors that are at play now were not at play in previous halvings. So I don't know. In my opinion, you can kind of throw most of that out the window. I think you'll probably see a little something, but I can't imagine that it'll be that serious, at least not that soon, because it's like right around the corner. I mean, we're not very far. It's April? I forget the exact date, but it's end of April.
Well, and it'll be sometime there. I think the date is variable depending on the specific mining rate, but the target I keep seeing people talk about in the news, the narrative is around 130, based on, like you said, a minimal set of data points that is probably not statistically significant in any other industry, in any other area of academic research. And I think the most important thing is just to take a measured approach. As always, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. If you don't know how to turn your cash into crypto and your crypto back into cash and protect it while it's encrypted data, don't buy it. You got plenty of time on this stuff if what you want to do is invest well then take some time to learn about it. You can make money whether the price is up or down. And it almost is just, it's like a red herring. It's a distraction. Like you always say about the news. Something happens and the news has got to talk about it. They got to have an interesting angle for it. I don't know. I'm a little, I think it's unhelpful to talk too much about the price, even for someone like Cointelegraph. I get it. That's what their readers want to hear, but
it's catchy. It's trendy. And there are lots of people who are grossly over leveraged. And so they will cling to anyone trying to either validate the suspicion that they've had or the speculation that they've made or whatever. To read these stories. So they get clicks, they get views. The agencies or the outlets are incentivized to continue to put them out.
Well, and if you make enough predictions, you say this a lot too, you're bound to be right. Yeah.
You see a lot of Nostradamuses in crypto.
Go ahead.
Just to clarify, what I was talking about with regards to the dates, I just looked it up for the next halving. Evan's correct. It's not going to guaranteed happen on an exact date, but it does happen at block 840,000, which is predicted to occur roughly around April 24th. April 24th.
I'm here.
Roughly. But it happens at a block, which should be around the end of April.
Yeah. And we can get into all the specifics of that, how blocks are mined, how a blockchain works. I feel like that might be beyond the purview of this particular show. But if you're new and that's something you're interested in, or you're old and that's something you want to learn more about, let us know. Maybe we can talk more about that. We always love doing, Web3 101 stuff. And I'm putting the finishing touches on this PDF, which will not tell you that specifically, but will give you a good jumping off point.
There was a question about getting started. Do you want to just nutshell what the PDF is?
Absolutely. So we've been working on a PDF that gives you sort of like the basic overview of blockchain, the industry, the technology, and cryptocurrency, smart contracts, all these other topics that touch it, which we colloquially refer to as crypto. It gives you, because it's like drinking from a fire hose learning about this stuff. You don't even know which questions to ask. So this document is going to give you a brief overview, 10 sort of action steps that you can take that have no requirement to spend any kind of money to start learning about areas of this industry that interest you as a technologist, as an investor, as somebody's grandma, as a teacher, whoever you are, whatever your thing is. It'll help you get up to speed so you don't feel like we're talking about so much inside baseball when you join the show. I am going to post it in our community, which I mentioned earlier, discord.gg/themany. You'll be able to get it for free there. And I'll share it with Alex. I'll share it with Mac, who creates content here on the platform too, all of us for Faceless Labs, so that you can get it through the link in our bio, anywhere. And share it with folks that you know. It's the kind of stuff that anybody who talks about this stuff well is mostly going to agree to. Nothing controversial, nothing too dense, too deep. Just to give you a couple of training wheels to start to enter the conversation and feel like you're not being talked down to or talked past, that you can learn this too. So stay tuned for that.
Resources tab on that too?
An appendix. I have a page of links that I share with people, and I know you do too. Will you just ping them to me sometime when you have them, and I'll make it a pretty document thing?
Yep, for sure.
I wanted to ask you on the note of we were talking about Bitcoin price, and one of the things that is interesting to observe is manipulation in any market is sort of inevitable, because the incentives are for people to make money however they can, legally or otherwise. The rules and regulations, they help us, limit our choices. But a lot of information that is pretty easy to verify indicates that much of the crypto market, much of the time, is subject to a lot of volatility because of people's intentional manipulative choices. Our friend Josh posted a really good video, and I don't have the capacity to summarize it concisely right now. But if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. And, our friends, it's Joshua Jake, usually post great breakdowns of stuff, a little more in depth. He was talking about how FDUSD, Binance's new stablecoin, has like 10 holders. It has many holders, but like 10 of them own over 90%. It has 24 times more volume in 24 hours than Tether, whose supply is scores of magnitude bigger and is the world's most used stablecoin. for people who don't know, Bitcoin is made possible largely by stablecoins on exchanges. Tether is the most prominent stablecoin used globally by all kinds of people. The biggest crypto trading pair is BTC, Bitcoin, and USDT Tether. And this token's volume has outstripped it and outpaced it. And he has a really interesting just summary of a number of facts that are correlative, but which make it look like Binance and CZ are really making a strong play with this stablecoin to try and manipulate the price of Bitcoin and, recapture whatever they can in terms of attention, assets, and market share. And his conclusion, again, which I can't speculate on, is that Binance might be the next domino to fall. The final domino of the bear market was, I think, how he phrased it, which was a great hook. But I thought all the information was really well presented, and is a great example of, even when it comes to Bitcoin, if you're somebody like that, you can have an undue amount of influence, like we saw with FTX.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't say at this point that I think Binance is going to crumble. That's obviously, people have been saying that for a very long time. Now there's some pretty big money behind Binance. I think that would be a way bigger deal than FTX falling. Personally.
I agree. And I think it would matter. I think everyday people would feel more excluded from it. Like they might not be as active in the narrative. You know what I mean? They might not be like, oh, did you hear about that CZ guy? But all of us, the people on the inside, would be like, oh, Binance?
Yeah.
That'd be a big domino.
So just really quick, I pulled up the Chain Explorer for both contracts for that stablecoin. Because there's two. There's one on the Binance Smart Chain, and then there's one on Ethereum. And it's real weird. So on the Binance side, there are 487 holders, which is wild.
Yeah.
The transfers are really strange. Most of them are between contracted hot wallets on the Binance side. And they're really teeny tiny amounts, like $10, $8, $50. The biggest one that I see here is $600. And then randomly there's just like 150 grand and then back down to 10 bucks, whatever. But that's everything. Like every single transaction is a contracted Binance hot wallet with a label and a number, which is interesting.
Well, and what he observed, his analysis of it was, so they're Binance wallets, and the amounts and the frequency made it look like it was a lot of automatic trading reacting to the price of Bitcoin, which somebody with a lot of money, I saw a video, Jim Cramer was talking about how he used about $5 million, which is not a lot of capital in a traditional market. It takes even, to move a price of an asset in the future. It doesn't take that much money if you are strategic about it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Now, the Ethereum side is even smaller. There's 117 holders. There's only 613 transfers going back like months.
Wow.
Which is interesting. But here on this side, every transfer, which is also largely contracted Binance wallets, they're like 11.8 million, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, 5 million, $10, $1,000, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million. Like it is a very strange. And then one nice thing is that underneath after the transaction hash, they give you a method on the Explorer. So like, what is this? Most of the ones on the Binance side are transfers, deposits, increased liquidity. So that was a big transaction. That was 150 grand was a liquidity increase from one contract to another, but not a Binance wallet. That's interesting. And then on the Ethereum side, they're all transfers or executive transactions. And these are like tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, according to Bybit, they have a 24-hour volume of over $2 billion.
Yeah.
which is not an insignificant sum of money, especially when you consider that's how few wallets are moving it in that large of chunks. And one of the effects that this has, the purpose of a stablecoin is to facilitate exchange. Like a stable currency off-chain, it is helpful that your stable token is not volatile, because I need to be able to sell my cows for it and then go buy gas for it, right? It's like the dollar. We want it to be stable. But all this trading and all this action, it creates, though it's still stable, a really shifting terrain. If you look at the chart for FDUSD compared to Tether, for example, from August 17th to the start of this month, it fluctuated from 94 cents to 1.02. Like, that's a huge range for a stable coin in that amount of time. And all that time, it's pinging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So it does lend credibility in my mind to the question of a guy like CZ knows how to run a crypto empire. He knows the purpose of a stable coin. So what's he doing? Well, I mean,
I have a nefarious guess.
Oh, I need a sound for nefarious guesses.
Just to be clear, though, so on the holder side, this is on the BSC scan. According to BSC scan, which is Binance Smart Chain's blockchain explorer, Binance hot wallet number 20 owns 98.8% of FDUSD.
And Mambo number 5 is coming up next.
Yes. And on the ETH side, Binance wallet number 8 and then Binance wallet number 28 own 75 and 22% of the supply, respectively. And then the next biggest wallet is Binance 14, holding 1.5%. And then everything else is sub 0.5%.
Wow.
And there's only 117 holders, so that's not very many. If I was to, like, what would the malicious individual be doing that would cause a stablecoin to do that? And why would there be so much volume? And what would overall, like, the plan be? If, big if, the proverbial gigantic if, because I don't know any of this. This is a guess I'm pulling straight out of my ass. If Binance was doing what FTX was doing, and they are now worried that someone's going to call them on it, the fact that they took customer money and did other stuff with it, paid off their debts, did whatever. Maybe via this stablecoin, they're trying to make back as much money as humanly possible by manipulating the rest of the market and just, liquidating as many people as possible who are trading on top of stuff and just trying to rebuild their coffers.
Well, and here's what they're doing too, to lend credibility to that argument. I'm looking at the Block Explorer for Tether. And the largest transactions up to an hour ago, I'm seeing Binance deposit, Binance withdraw, Binance withdraw, Binance deposit, Binance withdraw, Binance, meaning a wallet linked to Binance is depositing and withdrawing at a time $99.999 million, $1.2 billion, $99.99 million. I'm seeing 10 transactions of $1 billion in the last hour. So it doesn't surprise me, and it wouldn't surprise me, because what they're doing to make money on this is when you deposit your liquidity with them, they're backing this with dollars. So they're probably taking out a treasury bond, which is going to earn them about 5% just to park your money there. And then they're probably taking those millions and millions of dollars based on the amount of money they're generating for FDUSD, and I bet they're buying Tether with it. And I bet they're looping that around too. And then just doing it, they're probably earning double-digit percentage yields on stable coins to just bulk up their liquidity. And honestly, if I was an exchange and I didn't have a stable coin that was working out for me, that would be my number one play, is like, how can I get a stable coin so that I can get some of that secure yield? And it looks like they're leveraging Tether's infrastructure to do it too, potentially.
But what's wild is that all of their wallets on chain are labeled, and like, this is brazen as hell.
Yeah.
Because how easy was it for us to find that? It takes 3 clicks.
It's wild. Well, but that's what makes me think that a guy like CZ, who's, he's not that concerned right now, it seems like, about the U.S. specifically. They've kind of taken a step back. He's not stupid. He's definitely strategic and calculating. He's got a plan. And I don't know. I don't know that you could. I think it would be a hard thing in court where there's no real precedent for this, though we're establishing one. I think it would be hard in a court of law, and it would be just as likely that somebody like CZ, if he was charged with some sort of crime, I don't know what the crime would be, to win that case, because so many people do this kind of thing much, you know what I mean? Like I said, Jim Cramer's on TV talking about how he used to do it, you know,
Yeah.
and he's doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is a weird one. I don't know. this this is not on the same topic, but I was just doing a headline check,
Yeah.
and this one is hilarious. First of all, if you're not following Gary Gensler on Twitter, it's really funny, and you should.
He gets an award for most out of touch Twitter account.
Yeah,
100.
Whoever is running his Twitter, if it's him or if it's not him, whatever, is like just portraying the most tone deaf.
It's the intern, dude.
Yeah, of all time. And like every single post that he puts up gets ratioed so hard, and it never changes or has any impact on like his next tweet. And they just like consistently put out a tweet like daily where it's like, we're here to protect the investor. And then, you know, it's like, you know, 3 likes and 20,000 comments about how you're full of shit. It's very funny. But so just to put it in perspective, most recently, as of this morning, Gary, old Gare Bear, said that the SEC, he's highlighting the SEC's consistent approach to Bitcoin ETFs. And it's like, dude, technically you're correct in saying that you have had a consistent approach to these things. But wow, like what a way to phrase that.
Yeah, great wording.
The TLDR on this is that he's discussing the status of Bitcoin ETF proposals and highlighting the SEC's rigorous review process, which is code for we're not going to review anything. We're just going to, every time they resubmit, we'll move the goalposts. Emphasizing the SEC's commitment to their longstanding methods and the active role of various divisions. That doesn't say anything. That's words that don't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The SEC did not appeal against Grayscale's court victory, as confirmed by Gensler. So, like, the dude is just frivolously lawsuiting his way around the industry, and he doesn't give 2 shits whether or not it works out or it doesn't work out, because he's not in there to like win a case or lose a case. He's just in there to bring charges, press charges, which is just sad.
And speaking of headlines that are adjacent with out of touch politicians, I don't know if you saw. So Elizabeth Warren is continuing the crusade against cryptocurrency in Congress, lobbying for stricter regulations, because her claim is that Hamas is using cryptocurrency to fund its activity. And I saw a fantastic, I think it was a clip from a press release where they talked about, it was a Hamas official who said, yes, you can send us crypto, but we would prefer you don't, because it's way too easy to track.
Yeah, we would prefer good old-fashioned cash.
Yeah, it's easier to launder people.
Yeah, that is very funny. I saw her I made it a point to not read more of her. She's just like Gary. It's the same shit over and over again. She's super out of touch, and she's completely delusional, and just can't read the room.
I know. I don't get it. I mean, I know there are a lot of people. I was listening to the radio the other day. We have this excellent radio station here in Memphis that used to be on the air, was off the air for a long time, just came back. It's called Radio Pig. You can listen online. They've got an app. It's like classic rock deep cuts. Great stuff. But one of the DJs was on last night talking about the Starbucks Web3 loyalty program. And he was specifically talking about one of their latest releases, which was an NFT collection commemorating pumpkin spice lattes. You could buy them for like $25. There were 4 different commemorative art pieces. I think there were 2,000 total tokens released, and you got extra loyalty points for purchasing this NFT, which you can use to redeem for different kinds of cool experiences, tours of their farm, a journal that'll catalog all your coffee, free coffee for a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this guy, he was on the radio and he was saying, it hurt my feelings so much. I almost called in. I couldn't find their phone number, because he was like, what good does it do? Why are they buying this? Just, we got to tell a better story,
Yeah.
And there's actually a news article about that. Did you see the one on Cointelegraph about the US OCC to host the discussion of tokenization of real-world assets?
No.
Well, pull that one up. It sounded like you had a thought. I was speaking over as you said, So pull it up and tell me what you're thinking.
Wait. Okay. Say that again.
US OCC to host discussion on tokenization of real-world assets. It's on Cointelegraph. It should be on their latest news page. Story came out a couple hours ago.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just going to say that the idea that a better story needs to get told is obviously accurate, but I was thinking about this the other day too, because I was listening to somebody bitch about mainstream media, and there's no way to deny that they don't often represent the news in a great way, or the important stuff, or what do they choose to focus on or whatever. But it's not just because they don't give a shit and they're not like necessarily hiding stuff. That's what people watch. Mm-hmm. So like, yes, a better story needs to get told about this industry, but no one's interested in the better story. Like, if you go to Twitter and you look up and you actually dig for stuff, you will find so many people talking about this industry in a really good way, especially in the gaming space now. There's a ton of creators talking about it in a great way. They get next to no attention because a token just came out or whatever. So, yes, represent it well, but at the same time, it's a very tough battle to fight because the attention is not there and the viewers don't give a shit. It's a hard battle to fight. And the same thing is with mainstream media. Like Fox and MSNBC and CNN, they're not interested in purposely misleading you. They're interested in making money.
Yeah.
And they will tell you the stories that are going to generate them the most revenue, not because they're malicious and nefarious. It's just because they want to make money.
That's what the incentive is.
Yeah. So if everyone and their grandmother wants to intake bullshit on a regular basis, then why would they give you anything other than that?
Yeah.
So it's not just them. It's also your fault.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that at all. You're telling a story with everything you say, don't say, amplify, invest in, or ignore.
Yep.
And the incentives are stacked against us. We can try, but we gotta build better incentives, which is why I love the community approach. I feel like when we're all hanging out in a room together, we're talking about social capital, we're talking about knowledge capital, we're talking about financial capital sometimes, but my life is richer because we hang out together and I learn a ton from listening to what you share, to what people like Tori share, Jower, everybody just enriching each other's lives as we happen to be talking about this cryptocurrency stuff. And so naturally, since that's our direction, that's the incentive, we have some really, I would say, rich conversations. I don't know. It's a tough problem. But that's why I mentioned this article is because... So I want your take on this. I think it could be a nothing burger. This is the US OCC, the Office of...
I was going to say, do you want to... I'm going to scan it. Do you want to...
Yep, let me give them the 30-second summary. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency is an independent bureau of the U.S. Treasury Department. They supervise commercial banks, and they're planning to host a symposium on, listen for the word, tokenization in February 2024. They say in the article, the upcoming symposium is set to ignite a public dialogue on the transformative potential of tokenizing real-world financial assets and liabilities. The quote from the official at the US OCC says, Crypto remains driven by the promise of speculative gains, continues to be marked by scams, frauds, hacks, and struggles to comply with anti-money laundering rules. By contrast, listen to this picture he paints with words. Tokenization is driven by solving real-world settlement problems and can easily be developed in a safe and sound manner, fully compliant with anti-money laundering rules. So the speakers have yet to be announced. Looks like it could be an international affair with examples that highlight tokenization use cases, legal foundations for tokens, risk management. And though the OCC, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily a friend or foe of people who invest in crypto. And as I say, this could be a nothing burger, but I really think it's interesting that they're reframing the conversation by putting crypto, the word, the idea, on one side, and advancing this new word, tokenization. One of the problems with NFTs, why people call them stamps, is because NFTs have such a negative sentiment when you hear them. Crypto, as they're saying, has such a negative sentiment. So I am interested to see if, like them, other agencies, other entrenched powers start using the word tokenization. Real world assets has already been a big one that we say in our space. But I think I'm interested to see one of the trends for the next bull run will be a narrative shift. People talking about crypto without talking about crypto. And I think tokenization is going to be one of those words. That's why I wanted to talk about this today. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to your take. This is really promising, I think, to hear the OCC say this and make this distinction. This is a very big deal, because this has exactly been my position and our position largely for a time. Like, we good? I can hear myself like a second after I speak coming from your side.
No, sorry, it was my mic disconnected.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You're good.
Just that crypto is mostly bullshit. Tokens are really cool. And like I largely feel very disenfranchised by the industry that I work in because of the presence and prolific nature of most cryptocurrency. I mean, almost all of them are garbage. Maybe not specifically malicious, but garbage regardless. Whether it's trying to or just going to lose you your money. And pointless, useless, right? Like
intern token. Why?
Yeah. You know what? I will say, though, that gambling on specific garbage is about the only good use case. But it needs to be labeled as Magic Internet Money Casino, gamble on shitcoins, best of luck.
Yeah.
That's a better utility case than like 99% of the other cryptocurrencies. My stupid prediction, whatever, would be that eventually the only ones that really need to exist are layer ones that are all competing, just like cellular networks, because they need their predominant like utility coin, Ether, Sol, whatever. They're all fighting with each other. They're going to have their own. It's just the way it's going to work. And Bitcoin. And then tokens for lots of stuff. Lots of different NFTs, lots of different SFTs, soulbound this, whatever. And that's the way that it's going to like end up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
When I say layer one, I'm including layer twos, layer threes, whatever, like scaling solutions, yada yada. But like an NFT project that launches and has its own token shouldn't do that. It should just use the native currency that it has on the blockchain that it works on, because then it could interoperate with every other NFT project that exists on that network easily without needing to do swaps and bridges and all this other dumb shit. And it could actually function the way it's supposed to function. So if you're an NFT project on Ethereum, you should just be using Ether, or maybe USDC, or Ethereum Tether or something like that. But you don't need your own.
Now, I do think we are going to start to see different kinds of things get tokenized like that. but not like that. It's not going to be a Bored Ape token, ape coin, that necessarily you'll just invest in speculatively. But I do think there will be, we saw a slew of city coins come out. I'm very bullish on that kind of concept. If you are a citizen of Memphis, Tennessee, as I am, oh, go ahead. What you got?
But that's not the same thing, though. There's a
No.
difference there. That's not a cryptocurrency. That is a tokenized share of your participation as the constituent in a jurisdiction, in a precinct, in a spot, in a city, in a town, in a county, in a state, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it won't be liquid in the sense that you're buying more, hoping it'll go up tomorrow in order to sell it for more dollars than you paid for it. But I do think it could be liquid-esque in that I often say about this that it'll be a more robust version of money. Like, not everything can be measured in dollars and cents. If I had a token that proved I was a resident of Memphis, then maybe local businesses would want to give me discounts, especially if there was another token that proved I was a really good customer. That could be exchanged for services at a reduced rate, or it could entitle me to different perks. Like, those are valuable things, even though they're not necessarily liquid, not necessarily money, but they're way more flexible than just like, you know, hey man, I hope you're motivated by this today.
Yeah. So again, the interesting thing will be the chain, the host chain for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Short of all of them making their own blockchain, just because you would want cities to be able to collaborate on initiatives, because, you know, if it's a city, districts may fall outside of city lines, and, you know, there may be schools that draw from more than one city, all that sort of stuff. I don't think that would necessarily need to be a liquid or illiquid, you know, by description thing. Because like you said, you would be incentivized, theoretically, to use it inside of your own city to shop, to do this, to do that, whatever. I would imagine you would have both money and that. And you would get that in exchange for being a good constituent and, you know, returning value to something. So if you are a business owner, you should be given an allotment of that. Like, that's a vesting schedule. Like, I own a business in this city. I bring in people. I bring in tourists. I bring in commerce, revenue, whatever. I get some of this from the city on a vesting schedule as long as I do that. And having a more pronounced stock of this entitles me to more of a say. Because you talk about, like, when does a DAO actually make sense? It makes sense at your co-op. It makes sense at a library. It makes sense
at your school board.
At a school board, yes. It doesn't make sense for a bunch of people who own JPEGs.
No,
that's not a DAO.
No, and I expect to see, we've talked about this some too, because, you know, my whole thing is like, let's abolish money and replace it. And you said to me, I think a better system starts with people using this in small ways. And I absolutely agree. I think, though, that different layer ones will establish themselves by offering different kinds of services that they specialize in. I think, you know, cities will probably have their own smart contracts. Every citizen will be a member in a DAO, and that some blockchains will cater to that kind of applications, whereas some will cater to, I don't know, you want to start a Discord community with your friends, create a token in one click. Here are the 10 things it does. Some will be much more centralized, where you want to be able to transfer the keys from a multi-sig to a government official or the citizen who has the most credibility, and then others are going to be totally decentralized. And I think it's going to change the infrastructure of how we live too. We're already starting to see, one of my favorite Web3 projects is Cabin DAO. They might not be Cabin DAO branding anymore, but they're just Cabin. They're building decentralized networks of land that their holders and members participate in building up infrastructure, and it's like a decentralized, you know, city-state. You can go from city to city to city to city all around the world because you hold this passport that entitles you to access these properties, even though they're not in the same place. The way we would think about accessing, say, water services because you're a citizen of this town. You're a citizen of a decentralized city, and it's facilitated by the blockchain networks that make it easy to verify, easy to transfer information. I'm very excited for little things like, and I hope this symposium, I hope they highlight stuff like that.
Yeah,
I can't tell if you got a burp in there or if you're just really thinking deep about something.
So back when I was like very first starting to do this whole TikTok thing, I had a friend who unfortunately is no longer a creator, Sam. I think his handle was just a crypto dev, and he was just an experienced Solidity smart contract developer, and he was working on a couple different things or whatever. We went live a couple times, and he made the claim at this point, more than 2 years ago now, that he said this, that the only way he imagines this ever ending is that anything that needs to be on chain, let's call it apps on your phone, as how you access these things. And it would probably have to be that, because everything is mobile. Mobile is the gateway to success. So you would have all of these things on your phone, and they would just be using a chain of some sort. You wouldn't even need to know which chain it was. Mm-hmm. And as you depart from the locale that is one chain, or go into a different application or something, you would just be seamlessly switching to a different one that is now hosting this information and this stuff. And the way that you would talk in between would require a lot of, API endpoint plugging and playing and whatever. They would all have to talk to each other, or it's not going to work.
Yep.
Which has been exactly my experience with the NFT thing, which is why I don't give a shit the same way that I used to anymore, because the whole point, I thought, was to be interoperable, actually. And everyone and their grandma, go look at what's the most common position that would get hired out from an NFT project. I guarantee it's collab manager. And then go investigate, what are these collabs? They're all just tweet for tweet. That's it. That's a collab. Instead of, hey, we both are hosting a token that is on the same network. Let's build a bridge swap kind of thing and allow our communities to cross-pollinate. I can share my utility with your people. You can share your utility with our people. We did that with the allies. We launched it, and then every ally project was just like, well, cool, that mint is over. We're done. And I'm like, no, bitch, that's how it started.
Right.
And then they didn't do anything else, and so we had to abandon it because every partner was just like, no, we're done. We're gone. And then I tried for a year to get it going again do it again with all the other ones. I'm like, hey, none of you have any fucking volume. All of your holders are unhappy. What do we have to lose? Nothing. Why not just plug everything into everything and actually do the thing that Web3 says it's supposed to do?
Yeah.
So, that's why this is so bullish, because that's, in my opinion, because that's and not bullish is in the sense that, go buy some shit because I think stuff's going to rocket because of this. Just because this is what the tech is supposed to do. This is what how it's supposed to work.
Well, and I want to clarify, because I often get backlash from people who say, okay, are you in it for the money or are you in it for the tech? And I like to clarify that even if all you care about is money, you will almost certainly find more of it if you are interested in understanding where is the future likely to take us. What seems inevitable based on what I know right now? That what you describe with the apps? Go ahead.
Just to insert a small clarification.
Do it.
Because this is going to be the first thing that someone will poo-poo your opinion with.
Okay.
You can make way more gambling on speculative shit. The difference here between what Evan is saying and how that works is that for every one person who makes a bag in meme coins, 10,000 people lose their bag. So it's a trade-off, right? Would you rather trade the potential for you to make $20 million, which is a 0.001% chance compared to 99.99 that you're going to lose all of it, for a much better chance that you will just not lose everything by following tech that's going to stick around and be here for the long haul? That's the trade. So not that you can't, just that you won't.
Exactly. Yeah, and the analogy I use is it's like standing at a horse track after the invention of automobiles, and some people are just betting on horses to buy a lottery ticket. Other people get to know the jockeys, they get to know the horses, and they are gambling with more precision. They might make a career out of it, publish their bets in the paper. And then there are people at the racetrack like Henry Ford thinking about the automobile and thinking how it's going to impact every person on the planet and wondering, what can I do to get a part of that? Those people, they're the names we remember. They're the people with FU money. Everybody else who got rich gambling, good for them. but a lot of people got wrecked. And that's my point, is simply that that you are trading risk for a higher degree of certainty. And to your note about, I just wanted to tag on about apps and stuff. I'm really big on this idea of a trusted agent, a personal AI that responds only to you, that lives in the space between you and all your devices, is encrypted, and which will, I imagine, as you try to connect to other stuff, will probably build you an API in real time and verify that the people you're interacting with are human, that the bots you're interacting with are bots, and help you keep your assets safe. I think it's going to be as easy as that, and way more effortless than what we do now, where we're like, our phone is not a part of our body kind of thing. Seems seamless, but it's really quite clunky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I always just think about, like, when you try to talk about something like that and, someone's like, no, that's way too complicated, blah, blah, blah. Just think about, like, the amount of time that it took for us to go from the library to what the internet is now is really not that long. And if you were to try to conceptualize, like, what that with, picture of information sharing via the internet looks like now, 50 years ago, we're just in the same position. Just because you can't imagine it doesn't mean it's not going to, materialize. And this stuff evolves very quickly. And just the fact that, like, developers were saying that a couple years ago, and now, like, the OCC is saying that right now, kind of.
I'd say it legitimate. It gives it legitimacy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we about to hit your hard stop, brother?
We are indeed. So I was going to say, do you want to do I'm going to do one last scan, see if anything has popped up in the last 20 minutes.
I think that sounds great. If you have a question, you have a comment, good joke, word, or wisdom, leave it in the chat. Feel free. And I'll be glad to stay on a couple of minutes and share those things, any answers I can. But my last thought is just that we're here to have this conversation pretty much any time. We'd love to do this. We love to learn. We love to grow. So join us in the Discord at https://discord.gg/themany. Discord.gg/themany.
That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to do the whole web address. I used its full legal name. And follow us to find more about this stuff that, the PDF is coming soon. And we got a little special something. Alex and I have been working on some cool goodies for our morning show people that we will be sharing with you real soon, possibly as soon as next week. So those are my final thoughts. The revolution is just getting started, and it's for everybody. So we're glad you're here. Building a movement. You're invited. What you got?
My final thought would be, so the top, or the most recent, I should say, trending crypto panic story is just the European Central Bank, progressing their digital euro program, not dropping it and continuing on. And it's interesting because it's largely being downvoted as a bearish story, which I just always get a kick out of, because people have been whining about wanting mass adoption forever, and now that the masses are starting to adopt the technology, they're like, no, which just
not you.
It's like, we didn't want mass adoption. I wanted a big guy with a lot of money to pump my personal bag, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want everyone to start using it. Like, sorry, not everyone is going to switch the world reserve currency over to fucking H-bar. A government is going to make a centralized digital currency and use it out of their current centralized banking system. Like, spoiler alert, you're not going to buy your groceries and your gas with XRP. You're going to buy it with the central bank digital currency of the United States, or whatever. It's just very funny to me that this story comes out, and it's gargantuan. Like, these are big stories. These are multinational governments making multi-trillion-dollar steps towards establishing entire new digital currency ecosystems in multiple countries, and these couple fucking idiots with bags of shit coins are downvoting it as bearish because it's not going to pump their bag of H-bar. That's aggressive, but good God.
Yeah.
Not
a hot take at all.
Pull your head out of your own ass and just think about what it is that, actually want from the space, because it's not this.
Yeah, no. As Alex would say, I think Soundboard Alex would
Isn't
ask.
it pretty obvious what's happening here? The goal here is just to get views. It's not necessarily to educate people.
So,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My friend, thank you.
I've covered all the bases on that soundboard, haven't I?
I know you really have, and I've got to add. I have it written down to add a dun 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 sound, among others. And I definitely am about to tweet this and possibly make it a T-shirt that crypto is mostly BS. Tokens are really cool.
I would wear that as a shirt. Yeah, it's a good shirt.
Absolutely. So, my friends, thank you for joining us. This has been the Rise Up Morning Show. Catch us back here again Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. UTC. Thursday, following that, and in the Discord, discord.gg/themany. Until next time, my friends, I'm going to take us out with a little soundboard, Alex, and a little music. Alex, enjoy your time in Chicago, brother, and I'll catch up with you soon, okay?
Thanks,
Here we go. This is Basket Case from the 4-track demo released 30 years ago, featuring Alex Popovich.
Gurus are idiots.
Not ideal. It's honestly really annoying, but hey, that's the best we can do.
Yeah, and if you're new here, this is our tradition. Soundboard Alex plays us out with the music. So as you're leaving, leave me a comment. Let me know if you have more questions. We'll catch them in the Discord. Let me know if you got a resource. Let me know if you got a song request for next time, a soundbite request for next time. It's your show, people. Doing it for you. Legalize AI.
The goal here is just to get views. It's not necessarily to educate people. Hey, man. Hey, man. Little old Brad is a dumbass.
Very punk rock, Alex.
My dad can beat up your dad. And that's just bullshit. They're just shitty little projects. I am so bored with cookie cutter projects. It's just stupid. I am a big fan of this. I feel uniquely qualified to share this opinion, so here we go. I will absolutely die on this one. Hey, man. Hey, man. I mean, isn't it pretty obvious what's happening? There is only one way to say this.
Gurus are idiots.
So you better hold on.
Hey, man. Little old Brad is a dumbass. It's just stupid. As you know, we are just two people sharing their opinions on the internet. When you stop and think about it for a second, that's actually pretty nuts.
Alex, your mic is on.
I feel uniquely qualified to share this opinion, so here you go. Hey, man. Hey, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
until next time, rise up, my friends.